right, it's actually a pleasure on my part to have you here once again, and I welcome you to the 0 times 0 1 share permission project. It's really wonderful. I hope your coding journey is going fine, and in this project, we are going to look at this concept, and I'll let you know at this point that this is not just about giving you the answers. This is about explaining what is happening so that you can understand, why we are doing what we are doing, so that you can as well know how to do yours. That's the basics of what we are doing. Understanding the code, and understanding why a line of command was imputed. So if that is your aim of watching this video, you are welcome. I encourage you to watch to the end so that you will fully understand what this is all about. Alright, if you got that, then let's get the ball rolling. Okay, so first and foremost, I want you to look through these resources here. Permission, I have one of it down. You can just go through it yourself and get familiarized with some of these commands, or you can better still man them and understand what they do. Okay, so and again, here we have permission. What do this command do? What do the command do? Linus file permission. How to represent each of these three sets of permission: owner, group, and others. How to change permission, owner, and group of a file, and why can't a normal user. So all of these are important, so you can just try as much as possible to get familiar with them. Okay, let me just state how this video will go. First, we are going to look through the quiz section. Then I prepared some notes that will help you understand some concept about the project. Then after it, we get into the tasks and we explain. All right, we solve and explain them as well. So that's the basis for this video, and I know for sure that you are going to. It's been one of the best videos you're going to watch so far. I'm certain about that. So like and subscribe to this channel to encourage us. So for the quiz, I'll just show you that I might not be able to go too deep into explaining this, because this is not really this is not the aim of this video, but you can look through what's the main value for this, and it has been solved out, so you can look through it and see what they represent. So look through, that's what we have. Okay, that's what we have there. Yep, so you can look through it and see, compare with yours. If you haven't done that yet, you can quickly fix up and get up to speed with your journey. So I'll just go ahead and hide the quiz, and then before any other thing, I want to let you know that one, you need to create a GitHub repository. So the first thing you should do is having a GitHub repository for this particular project. So you create a GitHub repository. So you can't actually do it. You need to create a GitHub repository. That's what this ALS System Engineering DevOps. That's the repository name that should be created from GitHub. After that, then you can go ahead and create this directory. Then after creating this directory, you create your README file. Very important. Here you can begin to create each of the individual files. I have a note for you, but before then, I would like to create the repo on GitHub. I'd like to create the repository on GitHub. So I'll head to GitHub. I'll quickly head to GitHub, and you click on new. Okay, so repo, we are creating the repo right now. So I'll just get this as the repository name. I'll pick it from there and I'll go back there. So the name of the repository should be here, repository name. So I'll paste this in. Alright, so it's available. And description, okay, let me just put this. I'm learning share permission commands. You know, you can put whatever you like. That's not basically a requirement. So for this, we are not going to add a readme file here. Then we are not going to add git did not know and all that. So we just go ahead and hit create repository. So I'll hit create repository. Yes, a repository has been created. You can see this is the link of the repository that was created. So the next thing you do, you just go ahead, copy this, because you will need it later to clone into your local machine. So I'll copy that and come and place it here. Okay, I'll place that here. All right, so that is what we copied. So let me just put this down. So basically that is it on from GitHub for now. So we will hit back here. So since we have done that, the next thing you do, you come here and hit get a sandbox. So once you click on that, you get a sandbox, and I have mine already. So you come here and the first thing you are going to do, you see the root, to be sure you are in the root directory. So I'm going to do cd root, and yes, that is that, cd root. I hit enter. All right, after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do right away is to clone the repository that was created on GitHub. So I'll come here and hit back here, and I have this. Let me expand that. Okay, so here, this is the link of the repository that was created. So we want to clone. How do we do that? I have a separate video. This is our personal access token. All right, we have this already. I have a separate video that talked about how to create a personal access token. I'll just drop the link in the description of this video, so you can watch that if you don't know how to get your personal access token. So for what we have here, I'm just going to, you see, before this GitHub here, before the G, I'm going to press at. I'll hold my shift and press 2. I'm going to put at there. All right, then I'm going to come here and copy my personal access token, and after this second slash before the at that I added just now, I'm going to paste it here. Okay, I'll paste it here. So yes, that is it. So once you are done with that, then you can now add the command to clone. So that will be git clone. So once you're done, you copy everything you have now. I'm going to pick this, copy that, and I'll come back to my terminal and I'll paste it here. So I'll click paste. Alright, so this is the command git clone, and take note we need your link from github.com, your access token, as well as the command git clone to clone. So if I hit enter, you see cloning into LS, low level programming DevOps, and you appear to have cloned an empty repository. That is exactly what you are going to expect. That's exactly what you see. So once you are done that, just know that you have cloned successfully. You have successfully cloned your repository. So if you list files and directories inside here, you're going to see that ALS System Engineering DevOps is one of them. So it's there, it's here already. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do, which I'll show you right now, is to update your identity. Okay, to update your identity. So how do you do that? You just come here and do git config -- global user email. Then you put your email, not what I'm typing now, but your own personal email. So maybe you@gmail.com. If that is your email, you add your own personal email. So after that, you go on, you click enter, then you do git config dash dash global user dot name. So what you are adding here is your GitHub username, the username on your GitHub. If your GitHub username is Mike, you add that Mike. Whatever your GitHub username, you add that git config dash global user dot name Mike. So after doing that, you just hit enter, and that will be it. You have updated your what's it called, your identity on your local machine from GitHub, so that anytime you are pushing, it's going to push directly. Okay, it's going to push directly. So after you have done that, you can hit enter. So I'm going to clear this. I'll clear this. So we are all set now. We have cloned our repository from GitHub, and the next thing will be to create a readme file and start doing the task. But before then, I would like to explain the project. Right, I would like to explain the project. What is share permission project all about? So that's the next thing I'm going to explain, so that you have a knowledge of the project we are going into. What is it about? I will explain that briefly. I have a short note that will help us do that here. I created a short note here that will help us do some explanation. So I'll just go ahead and open that up. Okay, so this is it. I have a short note here that will help us to understand what we are doing here. So share permission, why do we need this project in the first place? As a developer, why do you need this share permission project? So that is what we are looking at first. Why do you need it? What do you need it for? So first and foremost, take for instance, you're working in an organization where everyone have access to a particular system, a computer. So how do individuals this one work, have a separate file, or whatever they are working on, another have separate files on the same system? How do they keep their own files separate? How do they protect their files, the unique individuals, for a public computer or a system that have access? Almost everybody have access to it. How can more than one user be operating the same computer at the same time, yet they have their own files separately? Everybody have their security on their files. So that is what share permission is all about. That is what the share permission is all about. So on the Linux system, each file and directory is assigned access right for the owner of the file. So the owner of the file, the member of a group of related users, and everybody else. Rights can be assigned to read a file, to write a file, and to execute a file. So that's the first thing we are going to talk about right now. Let me just adjust this. Okay, so like I said, there are 3 things we've talked about so far. Okay, let me just move this down and kind of illustrate here. So we said there are permissions that are given to a file. First we have 3 users. Okay, 3 users. All right, basically we have 3 users, and one of them is the file owner. Then you have the second one, which is the group owner, or group users, as the case may be. Then we have the third one, other users. other users. All right, so basically these are sets of users. Okay, then we have three permissions. We have the read permission, we have the write permission, then we have the execute permission. We have the read permission, the write permission, as well as the execute permission. So if we say read, it means that the user can have the right to read, write, and execute, but others might not have all of the rights. Some might have the group owners may have right to read and write but not execute, or write and execute. Other users might have just the right to read from the file. So these are the three sets of permissions you have. All right, so just clear this. So if I come here, then we have the chmod command. The chmod command stands for change mode, and it changes permission of files and directories. chmod stands for the change mode, and it changes the permissions of files and directory. Basically, you should understand that. And the chmod allow an individual modify this permission using either a symbolic or a numeric mode. Symbolic mode using letters and symbols to specify the permission to change, while numeric mode using a 3-digit code to change the permission of a file. So I'll just go down and again show you what I'm talking about. So let me just illustrate this a bit. If we talk about symbolic command, I'll just give a little example so that can help you digest what we are saying so far. So for symbolic command, or symbolic mode, in a symbolic mode, we can have a command such as chmod u plus w then we can have g plus w. Then I'll explain this file.c. So what we are having here, symbolic mode or symbolic command, we can have the command chmod, which basically stands for what? Change mode. And you have the user, the super user, all right, the user of the file. Okay, plus w means the user have the permission to write into this file. Then you have the g, which is group. G stands for group. Then the group have the permission also to write into this file, and the file name is file.c. all right, so chmod change mode user plus w means the user have the permission to write into this file. Then the group also have the permission to write into this file. Okay, we can have chmod u plus x, then file name file.c. So what this simply means is change mode user has the permission to execute this file file.c. It has the permission to execute. That means to change it to an executable file. So I believe you understand what I'm talking about, all under this symbolic command. So the other one that I said we have is numeric mode. So for that we use this for three digits. What am I writing? 3 digits. All right, we use this 3 digits. Take for instance, in the same vein, like which is similar to the example we gave earlier, we can have chmod, then we have the number, say 777, and we have a file name file.c. So what this simply means is that for this chmod, it stands for change mode, there's 77. So like I wrote here, which I'll explain later, 7 stands for the this stands for the group owner. All right, let me 7 stands for the file owner. Sorry, the first one stands for the file owner, is the binary in binary, because yeah, is the binary way of expressing that. That stands for the file owner. Then this other one stands for what? For the group owners. Stands for the file group owners. Then this last one stands for what? Other users. Other users. Other users. So what 777 actually represent is that both the file owner, the group owners, as well as other users have the permission to read, write, and execute this file, which is called file.c. I believe you understand that. All of them have the permission to read, write, and execute this file. So that is what that means. Okay, let me just briefly give you another one. If we have something like chmod, then we have 664. So what this stands for, like I explained earlier, this first one is for the file owner, then the file group owner, then the last one is for other users. So what this means is that this first one, the first six, which is the file owner, can read and write into the file, but for execution it cannot execute this file. Okay, that's the first person, that is the group owner. Then what this means, the next one, the same thing, the file group owner can only read and write into this file. For execution, they cannot execute this file. Then the last one, which stands for what? Other users. The other users, what they can only read. They can only read from this file. They can neither write or execute this file. So I believe you understand my point where we are going to. So here the group owner, the file owner can read and write but cannot execute. The second six, the same thing, the group users can read and write but cannot execute. Then the last four, the other users can only read into this file. So basically that is what that means. That is what that means. So I believe you got what I was trying to explain. So let me drop this, and if I go up a bit, so chmod is used to change the permission of a file or directory. So you have rwx, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. So for all of these, read, write, they are 1-1. That means for this 1-1-1, that means everybody have the right to read, write, and execute this file. This one, the file owner, this first one always stands for the file owner. So the file owner have the right to read and write but cannot execute, same as the group owner, the file group owner, as well as other users. So the numeric value is 1100 1100 1100. Then you have rwx here. Okay, therefore this is for the file owner, this is for the file group owners, then this is for other users. So the file owner has the permission to read, write and execute. Others do not have any permission at all. So RWS equals 111, in binary it is 7. Alright, RW dash equals 110, in binary it is 6. Then arrow dash x equals 101, in binary it is 5. Arrow dash dash equals 100, in binary it is 4. Then dash dash dash, that means no permission at all, 000, in binary it is 0. So basically that is what that throws a little more light into what we are doing now. So again you come across SU, and what this stands for is substitute users. Can have another meaning, but this is descriptive. Sudo will mean super user do. So super user can do. Then you have chmod, which basically stands for change mode. Alright, and others and others and others. Okay, and others, which we will definitely explain, you know, as we come across them. As we come across them, we throw more light. We throw more light as we come across. Okay, so basically I believe this introduction is what you need to get started in this task. Alright, this is the basics you will need to get started in this task. Okay, so let's get the ball rolling. Let's dive in and see how far we can go with this. So let me just bring this down, and here we are. So we are going to be working on this one step at a time, working on the files one at a time. So I believe you are ready. We have cloned that repository, and we have our terminal ready, sandbox. So what I want you to pay attention to again is this general requirement. You are allowed to use VI, Vim, Emacs, and all your script must be tested with this. Most importantly, this. Your first line of all your files should be exactly that, and you should have a readme.md file, the root of the folder of the project, describing what each script is doing. Alright, so you should not use all of this. So all your files must be executable. So once you're done, you get a terminal and you move here and you start working immediately. So that is what we are going to do right about now. So I have that, and if I have created that, and it is ALS System Engineering DevOps, which we have cloned. So the next thing we are going to do right about now is to create our repository. So I'll just scroll down here, and this is it. Directory, not repo. Directory. We have our repository already, so I'll just pick this from here. I'll copy this and I'll come back here, and I'm going to remember the command to create a directory, mkdir, the name of the directory you are trying to create. So I'll paste it there and hit enter. Okay, sorry. What we need to do, the repo we cloned, we have to enter into that first. Alright, we have to enter into the repo we cloned. So I'll do cd ALS System Engineering DevOps. So I'll pick this and I'll paste. Alright, so we are inside the repo. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a directory. So I'll do mkdir and I'll pick the directory name which we want to create. So I'll copy this and I'll come here and paste it. Alright, so I hit enter. Alright, so it's done. It has created our directory. So you see that. So once you have done that, then you cd into 0x01 share permission. I'm gonna paste. Alright, we are in. So we are in. So the next thing is to create our readme.md file as we saw in the requirement. A readme.md file at the root of the folder of the project describing what each script is doing. So I'll just go ahead and do vi readme.md readme.md. Alright, I'll tap I to enter into start mode. And what do I want to put here? Okay, so I'll just do this. This is the project. This is the project on share permission. Is the project on share permission. Alright, and again, let me show you something. If I put hash, you can pick this up if you don't know that already. If I put hash, you see the color has changed. It means that this is going to be a bold heading in GitHub. Okay, so and if I click enter and add a little more text to this heading, okay, if I do this this repo, this directory contain files that will help us learn about share basic command. So once you are done with that, you can click escape, then :wq. So we are out. So having done that, we have created the readme file. The next thing is to start working on the other. So let me restore this down. Okay, let me just create alright, basically okay, I just put this here. Okay, so that is it. So have we done that? The next thing is to start creating all the files. So if I list now, you see that we have readme.md, and if you cut that readme, readme.md. Alright, you see the content of that readme. So yeah, we have done with the basics. Let's start rocking. Let's start solving the tasks. Okay, so for this, it said change your working directory to root. We are going to do that. Cd root. Oh, not the right project, sorry about that. um, let me do this. Okay, all right, this is the right project. So okay, this is the project. Sorry about that, I was opening another project. So let's move on and create the first one. Create a script that switches the current user to the user Betty. All right, so that's what we are going to do. And remember, they said our first line must be, they gave us the first line because it's a script, so we must put that into our first line. So I'll go ahead and copy the file name for this, and I'm going to do vi and paste the file name. I'll paste that in. If I hit enter, I will enter into vi mode. All right, insert mode rather. Then our first line, of course, you should, for the script which we were given, is hash exclamation slash bin bash. All right, so slash bin bash, that will be the first line. Okay, so we move on and enter the second line. So what will be the content of our second line? What will be the content of our second line? So that is what we are going to write into that. So for this, it's a create a script that switches the current user to the user Betty. That switches the current user to the user Betty. So to do that, we are going to use the command su, and su stands for substitute users. I said that earlier. Su stands for substitute user, so it's going to substitute that user and change it to what? To Betty. Su Betty. So that's the command you need to switch the current user to the user Betty. So once you are done with that, you do escape, column wq, you write and quit. And if at least you see this file, but they said our files must be executable. How do you make them executable? You use the command chmod, which stands for change mode u plus x. I will explain this, and define name, so I'll paste define name, which we copied earlier. So what this stands for? This stands for change mode, and we are changing mode. And again, this stands for the user. Okay, the file user. So plus x, that means the file user has the permission to execute this file, to change it to an executable file. That's what this x stands for, execute. So you change it to an executable file. So all our files must be executable. So that is what this command chmod u plus x is doing, and this is the file name. So this is what this line stands for. So once I'm done with this, I'll hit enter. All right, if I list again, you discover that this is now an executable file. So after doing that, you can do your git add, git commit, put in the commit message, then you can go ahead and push. All right, so it has been pushed to GitHub, so we can go ahead and check our code right now. All right, so it's correct. We did that correctly. So if I advise you, if you miss out at any point, replay the video so that you can get it all and get it done right way. So I'll close this, and we clear the screen is becoming messy as we move to the next task. So we move to the next one, which is 1. Okay, write a script that prints the effective username of the current user. Print the effective username of the current user. First is first, I'll copy this file name, I'll pick it, and I'll do vi, I'll paste the file name, I'll hit enter. It will take us into the vi terminal. And what we're going to do here, remember our first line of code, bin bash, enter. And what is the write a script that prints the effective username of the current user. So what command does that? To do that, we use the command id, which stands for identity, and we do -un. So un is the username of the current user. So write a script that prints the effective username of the current user. So id, identity, then username. So we are printing just the username. All right, so that is what that we do. So once we are done, we can escape, shift column wq to save and quit. And if our list is white, it's not executable, we can use the command chmod u+x, then define name to make it an executable file. So if I hit enter, if I list again, you discover it's not an executable file. So once you are done with that, you can git add dot git commit -m, then the commit message, then you can push to github git push. All right, so once you are done with that, you can check the code. So see, it's checked correctly. So follow through is very important. You follow through because this is very important. I want you to get this and get it done with, so that you can move to your next project. Okay, so for this groups, write a script that prints all the groups the current user is a part of. So first things, we copy the file name and we do vi. You can use a map, you can use any other, but I prefer to stick with vi. So I believe I have fan or supporters. I'm a vi fan. So I hit enter. So I enter into vi, I tap I, insert mode. Then what do I do next? Remember compulsory first line of code, because we are writing a script, bin bash. Alright, so you hit enter. Then what do we put next? Write a script that prints all the groups the current user is a part of. So to do that is just a simple command. We're going to use the simple command groups. And that is what the command we need. So just type groups, and that is the command that will help us to print all the groups that the user is a part of. So once you are done with that, you can tap escape, shift column wq, save and quit, and you exit. And you can, if you list one of this is not executable, you can use chmod u+x, then define name, 2 groups. Alright, so you make it executable. After doing that, you see, then you can do git add, git commit, commit message. I'll put this in, then I can then git push. Alright, so have we done that? I can come and check. Alright, it's still correctly. So you are going to get us on same, just follow us. That is why I'm trying to do this from the scratch. I didn't do the project then come back and tell you this. I'm doing it step by step so that you can follow and understand why we are getting what we are getting real time. So the next one, okay, then we have write a script that changes the owner of the file hello to the user Betty. Okay, so let me clear here. So what I'm going to do, I'll pick this file name. I'll pick this file name and I'm going to write vi and put that there, vi. Alright, I'll enter it to vi terminal, and remember our first line, bin bash. I'll hit enter. So what is the file? What help us, change that? So that's to change, that changes the owner of the file hello to the user Betty. So the command we need to do this is sudo, which stands for super user do. Then what is the super user doing is changing ownership, ch own, change ownership of the file. What file? We are changing ownership of the file hello to the user Betty. So we'll put in the user first, which is Betty, and the name lastly of the file we want to change ownership of. So super user do change ownership, Betty, which is the user, then the file which we want to change. So I believe that is simple enough to grab. So after done that, you can now do your escape column WQ to save and quit. So after doing that, we make it executable chmod mod u plus x, then define name 3 new owner. I'll paste that and I'll hit enter. So if I list, you see that all of them are executable. So after done that, you can git add, git commit, commit message, of course basically the file name which you have already. Then we can git push, So having done that, you can then come here and check for the code. So alright, so it's all check. Congrats if you are following us, you are doing this alone. Congratulations, because we get to the very last. Just watch to the end. Empty, write a script that creates an empty file named hello. So that is what we are going to do next. So to do this, let me clear here first while we do that. Write hello. So I'm gonna do clear. Alright, have we done that? Then I'll pick the file name. We are using VL, of course. Then I'll put in that. I'll tap I to enter into a start mode. You remember our compulsory first line, since you are writing a script, bin bash. So what command will you to write to create an empty file? You remember touch command? You use the touch command to create an empty file. And what file are we creating? We are creating hello. So touch hello is the command to create a file called hello, an empty file called hello. So I've done that. You escape column WQ, you save and quit. Then you use the chmod to make it an executable file, u plus x. Then the file name should be there, so I'll paste that in. I'll hit enter. If I list, you see everything is executable. So I've done that. I'll git add, git commit, then the commit message I'll put in there. Then I've done that. I'll git push. So you can go ahead and check for this. Check your code. Alright, it's correct. Congrats once again. So we move to the next one and we do that. Write a script that, the fifth one, write a script that adds execute permission to the owner of the file hello. Okay, so come down here, we pick the file name and come here and we do vi put in the file name. I'll hit enter vi terminal, and so they are saying what command do we use to add an executable, an execute permission. It is just the same command we have been using earlier, but before then let's first put our compulsory first line. Of course, since we are writing a script, bin bash, I'll hit enter. Alright, so have we done that? So what command do we need to do this? What command do we need? We use the chmod change mode, chmod to add execute permission to the owner of the file. So the owner of the file is represented by with you know, then we are adding what? Execute command. Execute permission is what? X, right? X plus X. You remember read arrow, write W, X to execute. So execute command is S. We are adding X. So the user has the right or the permission to execute this file. And what is the file name? The file name is hello. So this is change mode. You are changing mode, then you are giving the user, the file user, the permission to execute. If it was W that is here, you are giving the file user the permission to write. If it is arrow, you are giving the file user the permission to read into this file. But this one, we are giving the file user the permission to execute this file. So having done that, you escape, you do column WQ, and you come back here, you do chmod to make it executable, U plus X, then you put in the file name. Alright, so have we done that? You hit enter, then we can now git add, git commit, -m, commit message, we can actually do all of this and commit at the end, but I just want us to see step by step, project file by file, creating each of them and committing, and you see if there's any error, we see it together. That is why I'm committing individual files and pushing them to the remote so that you can see step by step. Then after that, you do git push. Alright, so have we done that? We can now check, right? Let's check the code. So I'll run this test. It's all checked. Congratulations. So we move to the next one. Multiple files. So what are we supposed to do here? Multiple permission, and it is write a script that adds execute permission to the owner and the group owner, and read permission to other users to the file hello. So I'll just come down here and copy this file name. I'll do vi, I'll paste, I'll hit enter, then I'll tap a start to enter into vi mode. Remember our compulsory first line, then bin bash. So what command are we supposed to use? Remember the change mode, chmod. So you always use it to change the mode. And after you've done that, then what permission are we adding? We are adding these permissions. The first one is add execute permission to the owner and the group owner, and read permission to other users to the file hello. So we can use this command, just follow +114 hello. Alright, there may be another way to do this, right? But you can also use this command to do this. How does it work? Remember what we showed earlier, here. Remember what we showed here? 1. We can use 1 to signify. Okay, let me move down. Okay. we said 4 is to what? To read, right? Then at some point we can use 1 to write. All right, so basically that is what we are doing here. So execute permission to the owner and the group. The owner and the group have the permission to execute this file. Okay, to just execute, they have permission to execute. So that is what this 2 is representing. All right, so then the read permission to other users. So this 4 is representing other users, and they have the permission to read this file. So once you are done, you escape shift column WQ. So we've done that. You can chmod u plus x to make it executable. Then define name, we put that and hit enter. So you can do git add, git commit -m, the commit message, then you can go ahead and do git push. All right, git push. So once we are done, we can come back and check our code. So you see it's checked. I just closed that so that see it's checked correctly. So maybe we can take 1 or 2 before we stop and continue in the next video. So for this we'll do write a script that add execution permission to the owner, the group owner, and other users to the file. That add execution permission, just execution permission. So that is what we are going to do right now. Write a script that add execution permission to the owner, the group owner, and other users to the file hello. So let me clear this. So I'll do vi and come here. What's the file name? I'll pick it from here and put here. I'll paste. So I enter into vi, and remember we are going to put our first line of code. So bin bash, and the next one is, remember we are writing a script that adds execution point to owner. So what is that? What is that script? It is chmod. The command is chmod plus x hello. So remember, all the 3 users, the file owner, the group owner, and other users have the same permission. And what is that permission? Execution permission. So that is why we are putting in plus x. It's just a shortcut to do this, to add execution permission to all the users, all the 3 users. And what is the file name? Hello. So basically this is what these do. So if you are done, escape column WQ, and we save and quit. So we can chmod u plus x, then the file name. So after that you can do git add, git commit, commit message, then you can go ahead and do git push. So that, yes, is pushed correctly. So we just take 1 more, then we continue in another video. I don't want this to be too long. So after you pushed, you can come and check your code. So I'll just start this, and it's checking. wait for it to check. All right, everything is checked correctly. So having done that, I'll close that up and move to the next one. The one we do now is 8. Just bond write a script that set the permission to the file hello as follow: group owner, no permission at all; group, no permission at all; other user, all the permission. So I'll just pick the file name, copy and come here. I'll do vi, I'll paste that, hit enter, is set. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to write a compulsory first line, bin bash. Okay, then we go ahead and put in the command. So what do they want us to do? The owner, no permission. So since the owner, so let's do chmod, no permission for the owner, the file owner, so represent that as 0. Group, no permission at all, again we represent that as 0. Then other users, all the permissions, read, write, execute, other user have all the permissions, so we use 7 for all the user. So if you look at this critically, 0 means that read, write permission is not granted at all for the owner, no permission at all, you use 0. Then group, this second one stands for the group. For the group, again they say no permission at all. Then the last one, all other users, all permissions granted, so that's why we use 7. I believe you understand that. So once you are done, you can do escape column WQ to save and quit. So we can just do that, then do chmod u plus x to make it an executable file. So I'll paste the file name and hit enter. So once you are done, you see that all of my files are executable. So we can do git add, git commit, commit message, just put that in, then I'll do git push. Alright, so having done that, you can come back here and check your code. Just simply run the test and let's wait for it. Alright, so let's resolve this. We're seeing some errors here, so let's quickly resolve this. Okay, let's see what we have. Let's close this so that we show you how to make adjustment. And so vi define name, we missed out something. Okay, so we made a mistake actually. See, we did not put in the file name. All right, we are so fast doing this, so let's do that right now. You see, set the permission to the file hello. So we have done everything, but we did not put the file name. So I'll tap start again and come here. So what is the file name? Hello. So I'll put that and I'll do escape. So that was just the what we missed out. So shift column WQ. So I'll just do git add, git commit -m, a commit message, then git push. Alright, so I believe that this should check correctly now. We made some little mistake, so I'll check again, start a new test, and it's running. Let's wait for it. Okay. Alright, so it's checked correctly now. Sorry about that, that was just a slight I was too fast and oversight, so I'll close this. And for this video, it's becoming too long, so I'll stop here for now and continue in the next one. Please subscribe and like this video and give us a thumbs up if this gave you value, because we give out, we're not just here to give you the code, but we explain it so that you can be a better developer as you learn along in this journey. So just sit right there, because we'll get the next video and you have it. So I'll stop this here. See you in the next one.